Okay, today we're going to 160 acres. This is Highway 12 here. This is going west. You go back east, you go back to Trinidad. This is the Weston Supply Store and Post Office. Ringo's is back down the road about 5 miles. It's a nice little family grocery store with gas and stuff. So this road is Wet Canyon Road. You take a 31.9. And this property, the Wet Canyon Road, this property is about, depending on which public land you want to go to, is I don't know, 15 minutes to 30 minutes to any of the major public lands around in the area. We're starting to get into tall pines. Once you come up in elevation, this property sits at about 8,000 feet for most of the property. It's 160 acres. It's a square property. There's where the pavement ends, and you can see the East Spanish Peak in the background there. They look a lot bigger, and I'll be zooming in on them to give you a better perspective. On the video, you can't really see. And there's the West Spanish Peak over there to the left. Deer all over the place up here. This is the second largest elk herd population in the world. This is the volunteer fire department and firehouse. It's only about 4 miles down from the property. A lot of the people in this canyon, they volunteer, and they're part of that volunteer fire department. This is one of my favorite shots driving up this canyon. You can see the West Spanish Peak real good right here. Like I say, it's a lot bigger than what you see in the video. It's real pretty. You're gonna see the mile 10 marker, 10 mile marker. There's mailboxes here. Mile 10. You see the gray. This was $80,000 worth of graveled road they did to make this road to where it was real nice to travel. It's actually the best I've ever seen. Even on ranches that have maintenance and things like that. So you can see the West Spanish Peak again up there. And there's Down Valley going back down Wet Canyon where we came from. It has an old water well. It's not permitted. It produces a little bit of water, so when you get here, the water well's full. There's a cistern set up to where when you're here and enjoying the property, you'll have some water to where you can enjoy the property for a week or two, and especially if you manage it with your cistern. Okay, so we're coming up to the lock gate. This first gate you see, that's not the gate you want to try to go through. That's not the gate to the property. And then you take a right. It's less than a mile off of the main Wet Canyon Road Valley town down there. It's like 40 minutes from here to town. Still have telephone coming up here. And you get on top. Now you can see the Sangre de Cristo Mountains across to the west. That's where the San Isabel National Forest is at, in the high mountain lakes. Let me get it out of here. And when I stop, actually I'll just do it right now. I'll give you an idea. The mountains look, when you're sitting here, oh, about that big, maybe a little bigger. Here's the house or cabin. Once we pass it, I'll show you where the property boundary, eastern boundary line of the property. It started at that hairpin turn. You can look at the maps that I have, and it goes straight due north right through the tree here. It's a blue spruce up here. lots of canyons and valleys. You got mountainous land, you got level land. The north side of the property, that'd be good for turkey over there. And what I was saying earlier about animals, here's cabin and RV and things that go with the property. But on the north side of this property, you're going to have, that's a good spot for turkey on that side. And in the middle of this, I found a 6x6 when I actually sold this property to the owner. Now we're at the cabin and the RVs. There's a fifth wheel here and there's a fifth wheel over there. Everything comes with this property you see here, except for a brush hog that he has further up into the property here where he used to mow 10 acres of land on the property. And he's done a lot of work. Bears have gotten into this RV a couple times. They had to redo the door and put bear screws and wood around windows and things to keep them away. And they've got propane. They got direct TV that goes to the cabin, and they got propane that is hooked to both campers. And they got power running from the cabin with their small solar system going to both campers. This camper actually has the phone hooked up to it, which they disconnected because they use a hotspot wireless kind of thing. And this is the first fifth wheel. And gray water is lined out and connected to the cabin, gray water. And each of these, the cabin and both these RVs also have makeshift septic systems to them. Alright, they build a deck out here for this one. And this water spigot here comes up from the water well down below. There's a manhole covered concrete manhole down there with a pressure tank and a pressure pump that brings the water up from the well. You hook a hose up to this faucet here, and then you hook it up to the side of the cabin here, and it fills the tank that's inside the cabin. Okay, now you can see there's solar panels that charges the batteries on the inside, and there's a generator, a Honda generator on the other side that they'll use for 120 power or charging the batteries. There's an inverter. The cabin is wild. There's an inverter inside the small closet inside of here, inside of the cabin, and it's wired for 12 volt and 120, and it's wired for telephone and stereo throughout the cabin. So you got your solar panel here. This right here is a passive solar heater that the owner constructed, and it allows warm air to go in there from the sunshine during the winter. You can open a valve on the inside. It has a good roof, good metal roof. It's very well constructed. Got a small porch or deck out here. Here's these bare boards they put around, put nice windows on the cabin. It's really well constructed. All the walls are spray foamed filled, and so is the roof on the inside, so it's like a refrigerator in here. Speaking of refrigerators, this is a propane gas refrigerator. You got the propane gas coming from the propane tank. You got a gas stove, and you got various 120 and 12 volt outlets around the house or the cabin. And the stairs to the loft. This loft, there's a small bed up here, and I have the lights on, so let's just go ahead and go up here. So you got a small area up here for a bed, and we made this ladder too. You see the water tank over there. I was telling you, everything in this cabin is wired to where you've got light switches everywhere. It's running off the 12 volt small solar system, and then you have the Honda generator outside that comes with it too. And like I say, this is a propane gas refrigerator, It's really set up real efficiently. Tongue and groove pine. It smells like pine in here. And like I say, the walls are and the roof are spray foam insulated, so it's very well done. The floor is extremely solid. And this is the bathroom, and the water coming from the tank above supplies the gravity feed for the shower and the toilet. There's that loft. I climbed up the ladder over there. You move that ladder over here if you want to get up top and use that for storage. Here's their battery bank and solar system. When the generator's running, they can use this. They use this inverter to charge the batteries. And if they have enough energy from the sun, they just use it and use this battery charger. And then this small inverter is used to do the 120 for the TV and the VCR and the direct TV. And then you have your pressure pump here for the house, because you have gravity feed water coming down below. So it's not gravity feed to the sink or the showers. You have a pressure pump right here, and that pressurizes the water, so you have nice water flow. And you got a small hot water heater. Of course, it's hooked up to the gas. And now we're going to come into the bedroom. Another light here, and mood lighting, and then a light could be installed up there if you would like. You got a nice closet, got a nice sized bedroom in here. Okay, so we'll go take a look at the other RV and go take a look around the land. Actually, I'll show you some things outside about the cabin first. One other thing I want to point out before I forget it, there's lots of things to this. You have a gas line coming from the propane tank to a gas lamp in here as well. And as small as this space is, you run that, and pretty much will heat it up for our mild winters here through the winter time. So we're going to go over to the other RV, take a look. And they got enough antlers and bones around here they've collected off the property. There's plenty of wildlife. Another one there. There's a pile of them over there. This here is a vent on the side for the propane refrigerator. Just take the top cap off if you're when you're starting to run your propane generator. And there's the right back in here. Here's the. That's what you hook the water hose up from the well to fill the tank that's up there in that loft from the water well spigot over here. And this is the sewage and gray water line going down to a couple of 55-gallon drums buried down below that the previous owner had done for an RV that was sitting here. And it works well. And then he started making steps down and going down here below. And it kind of rotted out stuff down there, but he was going to make another fire pit down below the rocks down here in this little valley canyon bottom down below. Here's the back side. It has all this rough cut lumber was taken from sawmills around here and on the inside. And the windows are great windows. It's got a good roof on it. You don't have to maintain. And then the pressure pump coming from the water well to pump it up to that water spigot outside the house there is contained in this concrete manhole covered right here. So you have a pressure tank down there and a pressure pump from the water well. Well, I wasn't able to get into this fifth wheel. The keys I have don't seem to be working, but that's what it looks like. I think everybody knows what a fifth wheel looks like. It has slide outs on it. You can see the gray water and septic drainage going off to what they made for a septic system down below. Now we're going to go through the land. I'm going to fly the drone. We're at the cabin site still, and we came in through the gate. You look at the maps on my site here. We came in through the gate here and drove around the cabin we drove by in the video. that identifies that you're getting close to the properties right there. And then once you hit this hairpin turn, you're going along the eastern boundary line about midway on the property. The cabins and things that we're at right now, the cabins and the RVs that we're at right now are sitting right here. So we're going to drive through the property and drive these roads. The 10 acres that you can mow with a brush hog is right down in here to attract wildlife and things. There's a canyon that goes up in this area. It's really nice. And this area over here on the north side, you can see how dark colored these trees are. Very tightly packed trees, blue spruce and pine trees, and it's a very gentle ground. So these roads coming through here going, this is a gas well and this is a gas well on the property. These things are only going to last about another 10-15 years, and they'll have to reclaim them. And then you have these nice roads going through your property, and once you get up to this gas well up here, it's very gentle walking all this whole big area here. And actually you have another access road that comes in from above that hits the corner of this property from another direction. So on this north side you could actually access it from a whole nother area. So if somebody else wanted to do something over there, you could do that, and you could have separation between this portion of the land and that portion of the land. So now I'm going to drive through the property and fly the drone over it and show you what I can show you. This Y here, if you take it right, it'll go up to the first gas well you see on the property. So you're going to stay left. You've got a lot of different benches and level ground in the property, so I mean you could do more stuff in lots of different places in this property. It's not real wild and unforgiving. Okay, at this juncture here, you're going to see on the map we're at that, right past that first gas well. We're going to take a left and we're going to drive down towards the bottom. Lots of canyons around, nice flat bench tops. The terrain isn't too rough. The cabin and RVs are just right over there to the north. We're kind of driving southeast, going through the land right now. Got a lot of usable land on this bench that I was pointing out. Okay, I got a little confused, but when I was just showing you, I showed you this gas well road, and then we took a left and came down here, and we came off the property. I came down to this other gas well that's off the property, and now we're driving back up. We're gonna take a left, and I want to come down to this part right here, and this is the 10 acres down in here that he mows with a brush hog. And then, like I say, and then we'll come back up this way, come up this top portion, this gas well. Nice road access all through here, and then fly the drone from here over the entire land, and I'll try to hit, you know, the corner boundaries. I can judge it off of these roads I know about up in here, and based upon this gas well here and these gas wells here, and here. Then I can pretty much keep the drone where it's flying over and looking at just the property itself. But now we're going to come back. We're here. We're going to come back up, and then I want to take a left on this little road and see what that's about down there, and then I'll go up here and fly the drone. Okay, now we're coming off of this little short road right here you see on the aerial map. Coming back up to this turn. Going to take a left, go up to the highest portion of the property, and that's where I'll fly the drone over the entire property. I'll try to catch the campsite where the cabin's at and the RVs and the rest of the property. So now we're headed up to the highest gas well site. And you got this nice canyon down below. It'd be real interesting to go down in that canyon down below. I can see blue spruce down in there, along with the ponderosa pine. And you can see the Sangre de Cristo mountain range as you're driving up here. Got sandstone formations and boulders down below. That's a pretty shot, and like I say, the mountains are a lot bigger than what they look like on video. But we're coming down to Wet Canyon Road where we started from. You're gonna see the valley open up wide at the 10-mile marker. Now we're down into Wet Canyon. We're back to the main county road. And this is going south, back down to Weston, Colorado and Highway 12. If you go up that direction, you get to National Forest and Wildlife Area. So this is Wet Canyon Road at the 10-mile marker. And we are through.